Welcome to this explainer. When I first started out in the gig economy, driving for apps like Doordash, I honestly thought the only way to win was just to put my head down and grind. I figured, hey, total exhaustion is just the price of admission, right? But what if I told you the secret to actually multiplying your daily take home isn't about running yourself into the ground? What if the real key to making more money is, surprisingly, doing less? Today, we're going to dive into the exact blueprint I really wish someone had handed me on day one. It's the insider strategy that separates the drivers who are making a really comfortable living from the ones who are, well, barely scraping by. So let's talk about the massive gap between a super frustrating $100 day and a highly profitable $200 day. There's this rookie assumption, a myth that the apps are actually perfectly happy letting you believe, by the way, that to double your money, you just have to double your miles. Take more orders, spend more hours out on the road. But the reality, that raw hustle is a total trap. I used to fall for it all the time. I'd stay out for 12 hours just furiously accepting every single thing that pinged my phone. And somehow, incredibly, I'd still be stuck under $100 most days. The math just wasn't adding up.
And man, that leads to this incredibly agonizing realization. You absolutely know this feeling intimately. You log in with a solid goal in mind. Let's say $150. You start off strong, knock out a few quick orders, and you're feeling great. But then it just dies. You suddenly find yourself sitting in an empty parking lot. You're driving around aimlessly, chasing that glowing red hotspot on the map that literally magically disappears the exact second you put your car in park. An hour goes by, then two. You check your earnings tab and ask yourself, wait, how am I only at $60 right now? And your instinct is probably just to grit your teeth and stay out even longer.
But here's the thing, just pushing through doesn't work. When you really break down a grueling 10-hour shift, the amount of time you spend actually earning is shockingly small. The vast majority of your day is completely devoured by driving around chasing those phantom hotspots, or just sitting there waiting for a ping. When you hit that $60 slump, you aren't actually working for the app. You're just existing on it. You're basically waiting for an algorithm to give you permission to earn. And in the process, you're bleeding out your absolute most valuable resource, your time.
And the true cost of that grind? It isn't just lost time. Every single hour you spend out there chasing low-yield orders means gas is actively draining right out of your wallet. And your car is taking a massive beating. It's those hidden costs that quietly eat away at whatever small profits you do manage to scrape together. Plus, let's be real, there's the mental exhaustion. It is so incredibly draining to feel like you're giving it absolutely everything you have, only to net barely minimum wage. It's super easy to just throw your hands up and think, well, I guess this is just how it is.
But here was my major turning point. I started paying really close attention to the veteran drivers in my zone. And I noticed something that completely shattered my whole understanding of the gig economy. They weren't frantically zooming around town. They definitely weren't working longer hours than me. Actually, scratch that. Many of them were working significantly less. But their bank accounts were growing so much faster. We were logged into the exact same apps, driving in the exact same neighborhoods. So what exactly did they know that I was completely missing?
The epiphany I had was simple, but it was an absolute game changer. It's never about working harder. It's about manipulating the system to work for you. Instead of just guessing, I started treating the app like a giant puzzle. I tested different timings, different strategic positioning, and I completely overhauled how I accepted orders. And once I made that shift from raw effort to smarter decision-making, my hourly rate spiked almost overnight. I stopped getting stuck with those insulting $2 orders, and I finally understood the mechanics operating behind the curtain.
Really, this all boils down to two completely different mindsets. The rookie mindset is purely reactive. It's accepting every single order and letting the app dictate your entire day. Honestly, it's like treating your shift like a slot machine. The veteran mindset, on the other hand, that is entirely proactive. It's built on awareness, positioning, and recognizing algorithmic patterns. The veteran knows that the difference between a mediocre day and a highly profitable day isn't about motivation. The veteran logs in with a precise plan, takes back control, and completely stops guessing. But okay, here's the uncomfortable truth. You literally can't use veteran strategies if you're actively sabotaging yourself with silent income killers. I'm talking about chasing the wrong opportunities, trusting bad app signals, ignoring the historical patterns right in front of you, having terrible positioning, and caving in to take low-paying orders just to stay busy. These aren't just innocent little mistakes. They are deliberate rookie traps that the system is literally designed to exploit. Individually, sure, they seem harmless, but collectively, they are the invisible walls keeping you trapped under that $100 ceiling. Now, when you finally eliminate those bad habits, the transformation is staggering. That old, exhausting 10-hour grind, it gets slashed down to a highly focused 4 to 6 hours, yet your daily take-home stays the exact same or, in a lot of cases, goes even higher. This is exactly what happens when you stop fighting the algorithm and start leveraging it. What used to take you an entire day of grueling physical and mental wear and tear can now be knocked out in a fraction of the time. Now that is the true definition of working smarter. So crossing over to consistent $200 days requires a really deliberate blueprint. First, you've got to get the right intel. Second, and listen, this is absolutely non-negotiable, you have to ruthlessly audit and fix those bad habits we just talked about. And third, only then can you effectively apply that veteran awareness to your daily routes. You can't just skip straight to the advanced tricks. Before you optimize your strategy, you absolutely have to plug the holes in your boat and fix what's fundamentally holding you back. To help you execute that non-negotiable second step, I've actually put together a completely free guide. It's called 5 Mistakes That Keep Gig Drivers Stuck Under $100 a Day. It breaks down the exact rookie traps most drivers fall into without even realizing it. The link is right down there in the description. Consider this your mandatory first step, okay? Go download that free guide right now, fix those core mistakes, and I promise you, the entire gig ecosystem is going to start making a whole lot more sense. Well, that brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. Are you ready to stop working more and actually start earning smarter? Look, every single shift you start without a plan is basically just a donation of your precious time and gas to the app. It's time to shift that mindset, recognize the patterns, and leverage the system. So check out the guide in the description, eliminate those rookie mistakes once and for all, and take back control of your earnings.